Hi, this is Steven Rothberg with College Recruiter, and I'm joined here today with Faith Rothberg, who is both our CEO and my wife. Hey, Faith.
Hey, Stephen.
At College Recruiter, we believe that every student and recent graduate deserves a great career. We're recording a series of 8 short videos for employers, some of which will be our customers, some of which won't be, because we've had all of our employees working remotely since 1997, so 23 years now. And in this COVID-19 world, we're finding that most of our customers, probably most organizations around the country, have at least some and often all of their employees working remotely, and it's a real struggle. It's a struggle for managing employees who have been with you for years, and it's definitely a struggle rate at this time of the year with how best to manage interns who are basically about to report for duty or hoping to, and the new grads the same way. All of the videos in this series are in a playlist on our YouTube channel. Go to www.collegerecruiter.com/COVID-19 playlist. COVID-19 playlist, all one word, no hyphens. That again is www.collegerecruiter.com/COVID-19 playlist. Question I have for you, Faith, is how to use virtual tools to communicate our mission, our vision, our values, and our culture. How do we use those with our employees?
Sure. Great question. And what we found to work very effectively is that when we visit our mission and values and what we want to accomplish each year in an annual meeting, and we do that through most often an in-person meeting. However, when we communicate the outcomes of the management meeting to create and revisit the values and the mission and what our particular rocks for the year will be, we send that out through Slack. So, and we share it as a Google Doc. So we put all this information into our Google Docs and we share that with our employees so they can revisit it anytime they want to reaffirm and ensure that they're going back to what our real goals are for the year. One of the other ways that we really then continue to share our mission, our values, and our culture is through Slack. And what we do is we have different Slack channels. We have a W-2 employee channel, for instance, where we just share things that are really only relevant to our full-time employees and not necessarily some of our contract staff who are really part of our team but don't need to know certain things about our benefits or things that are happening from an HR perspective. Mm-hmm. Then we have like an all employees, and that would include those other people as well. One of the things that we really like to do, because we all work remotely, is that one of our values is transparency and good communication. So we really try to over communicate. So we use these different channels to communicate, as you would say, Stephen, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we share things like some huge sale happening, and that helps everybody rally around and get excited. One of the things that's really cool about Slack is that you can, it has all the emojis, you can like things, you can reply to things. And so another way that we have fun with it is we use GIFs and we use memes. And our favorite channel, I think sometimes for our employees, is actually the water cooler channel. And in the water cooler channel, it can be something about work, or it can literally be something funny that happened to an employee that day. They're frustrated. It's not even about work. It's about their kids. And they throw up a funny meme or GIF for instance, a really good example that was fun the other day was with COVID-19 and everybody having to have their kids stay home. That part has created a different environment for our team because they're used to their kids going off to school and their work environment is in their home, but nobody else is there. And so one of our employees found a picture online that had some children laying on the floor with a little thing over their face so they'd be quiet. And there was a person sitting at the desk and she said, "This is my life right now, ha ha."
Mhm.
So it was funny, and then people threw out other memes. So we use it, part of our culture is humor. It has to be because Steven and I are husband and wife running a company. So you need humor in there to kind of make everything work well. And that's what we do in our personal life too. We love humor. It's a great way to help get through hard times. Everybody should try and use it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that when I talk to people about Slack use, I tell them, like, give it a month. Initially, it's going to be a big waste of time, but stick with it. And also, I think the way that we implemented it, it's been 4 months, 5 months, something like that, since we really started to use it.
Yep.
The way that we implemented it was as a replacement for existing channels of communication. So we no longer text, we no longer email, unless there's like an attachment or you've got to see a long thread. But if it's just like a quick question here or there, rather than maybe picking up the phone or texting or emailing, we've kind of combined all of that into Slack, and it's actually become a big time saver, not a big time suck. But boy, in the beginning, I think it was a real productivity problem for probably the first few weeks. So the culture part of it too, you spoke about our annual meetings. We also have quarterly management meetings. We also have weekly management meetings. Our managers with their direct reports have a similar kind of a schedule. And they also sometimes, depending upon the employee, they have a daily check-in, like a daily stand-up.
Right.
Out of the management team meetings, the annual, the quarterly, and the weeklies, we are transparent about what happens, and again, it's the over communication piece, but we send out a cascading message. Can you talk about what those are meant to do, why we do that, when we started that?
Sure. So one of the things that we find is a bit harder in a remote environment is to just really know if everybody knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We find that when everybody does know what's going on, then we're all rowing the same boat, we're rowing in the same direction. And at College Recruiter, one of the things we're really, really, committed to is that we really build a team culture where everybody feels invested in the outcomes and that we all really encourage each other along the way. And so the cascading messages we added only recently because we were finding that in our management meetings, there were things that were decided that everybody should know about. And at first we thought, well, let's just all go tell our managers, our groups, what happened in the management meeting. But what was happening was different managers were communicating that in different ways. And so
or at different times.
Right?
So like one employee might find something out on Tuesday and somebody else might not find it out until their one-on-one on Thursday. And there was no evil intent. It was just a timing issue.
Right. And then that would cause confusion sometimes because if it was if it was an important decision, then they would feel like they should have heard about it earlier or something like that. So by saying that we were going to do these cascading messages, we actually take the last 5 minutes of that management meeting to articulate those outcomes, to feel comfortable with how we're saying them. And then one of the managers has, as one of his responsibilities, is to post that to the Slack channel to everybody so that everybody knows what got accomplished in that management meeting each week, and if there's any new direction or any new answers to things they were waiting on, things like that.
Right.
And it's really added a lot of value.
Right. And everybody gets everything.
Yeah.
It's not
for that.
parceled up so that only the developers get developer stuff and the sales teams
Right.
get sales stuff. It's everybody gets everything. So as the coach of the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers would say, we're all rowing the boat together in that same direction. And as a recovered University of Wisconsin Badger fan, I'm glad to hear that you agree that Minnesota is got the right theme there. And with that, I definitely think we should stop.
Oh, Bucky.